Welcome to my weekly rundown, and this is a series that I'm going to be starting and probably doing once per week, maybe twice if some new stuff comes up, or maybe I won't do it a week if there's not a lot of stuff going on, especially for the next couple of months. But I just want to cover a few topics each week that maybe I can't really make an entire video about, but there's a lot of stuff that interests me, a little stuff here and there that I like to talk about. So in these videos, I'll probably be talking about 3 or 4 topics, and this one specifically, I'm going to be talking about 3. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and let's get into it. So on the stream I did on Monday with my friend Colby, I'll link that in the description, we talked a lot about Kyrie Irving trade rumors. And one thing that we touched on later on in the stream that I wanted to go a little bit more depth on right now is Kyrie Irving possibly to the Bucks. Now, the Cavs just signed Derrick Rose. So what that could possibly mean is that if they trade Kyrie, they might not need an elite point guard in return. So they might not need to trade him to, say, Miami or Phoenix and get somebody like Dragic or Eric Bledsoe. So if he goes to the Bucks, I think that could actually be a pretty good fit. And the Cavs would probably get back Chris Middleton, Malcolm Brogdon, and maybe a pick or maybe one of their other younger guys, maybe something like that. I would have to crunch the numbers. But I like Kyrie next to Giannis. I think Giannis is a nice player, kind of like LeBron, in that he's somebody who can control the ball from the small forward position, allowing Kyrie to play off the ball. But unlike the Cavs, I think Kyrie would actually probably lead the Bucks in scoring. So if he wants to lead the team in scoring and be the main scorer, that's a good fit for him as well. So I think that could actually possibly be a nice scenario for both the Cavs, who could get, some more shooters and a little bit more around LeBron, while also getting rid of this massive team chemistry problem that they've created. And the Bucks get a guy who can put the ball in the basket better than anyone that they currently have on their roster. So keep an eye on that type of trade scenario, because I think that's definitely a possibility, and it looks like a pretty good fit. So I was originally going to make an entire video about this topic, but I just didn't feel like I had enough to say to make an entire video out of it, so I'll put it in this rundown here. I just wanted to touch a little bit on what would happen if Wade does get bought out and re-signs with the Heat. A lot of people are saying they don't want Wade back on the team because he's sort of clunky and he's older and he might stunt the growth of the young players. I actually think it'd be beneficial for these guys to have Wade back, especially since, according to this Herald article that I found when I did a little bit of research, and I'm going to put a picture of the quote on the screen. But basically, Justice Winslow was interviewed about Wade leaving, and what he had to say was something along the lines of, "It really hurt me when Dwayne Wade left. I really looked up to him, and when I was playing in my summer league game and I heard about it, I fell apart and had a really bad game." Now, we all know that Justice Winslow is a really athletic guy. We know that he looks like a great defender. He can pass the ball. He looks like a very smart player. But his jump shot is a little bit shaky, despite having pretty decent form. And as a basketball player myself, I know that a lot of that can be due to lack of confidence. If you're starting to miss your shots early, and if you're not having a good stretch, and you're a young guy like Winslow and a guy who's not used to being on the court as much, it can really mess with your psyche, especially early on in your career. Even if you're a good shooter, if you struggle early on and you don't have that sort of support system around you the way Wade could possibly provide to these younger guys, you would possibly continue to struggle. And Winslow definitely could use that sort of presence, especially since it seems like he really, really liked having Wade around. So whether or not Wade would get a ton of playing time, whether or not he's coming off the bench, anything like that, he definitely could be a help for the young guys to boost their confidence a little bit and keep them on track a little bit. So I do like that signing for Miami. Also, I love Dwayne Wade obviously coming back to Miami, but I think it could also work practically as well as obviously sentimentally. A lot of people think I'm a Celtics hater because I've expressed concern over some head-scratching moves made by the front office. I'm not a fan of the Celtics, but I'm definitely not a hater. I just don't really understand what their vision is for the future at this point. I don't believe that fans should give someone a pass nowadays just based on success in the past, like Phil Jackson in New York. Danny Ainge has obviously had a lot of success in the past as a GM with the Big Three, winning a championship and making a couple other nice championship runs. But his strategy doesn't seem to be very in sync right now, and he doesn't seem to be able to decide whether he wants to win now or build for the future. Signing Gordon Hayward to that big contract seems to me like they want to win now, but then hearing the rumor that they wouldn't give up Terry Rozier in a trade that could have netted them Paul George seems to me like they want to win in the future, because George could possibly leave after this season, and Rozier is a prospect for the future. They also seem to want to clear up salary cap space, which is why they traded one of their best players in shooting guard Avery Bradley, but they balked at the chance to draft a point guard of the future in Markelle Fultz, which would have allowed them to safely let Isaiah Thomas take a max contract elsewhere, which would have given them more cap space as well. So even though they have a lot of talent on their roster, even though they seem to have a bright future, they don't seem to really know what they want to do, and because of that, they might end up missing a chance at both winning now and winning in the future. So I'm not a Celtics hater by any stretch of the imagination, but I think as fans, and especially as Celtics fans, you need to call out Danny Ainge's obvious indecisiveness. He doesn't seem to know what he wants to do, and he seems to be very out of sync in terms of his team building. So I'd like to see a clear vision of his first, but for right now, I don't think this team is as good as everyone says it is. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I want to try and get these done maybe once per week or something like that. Let me know in the comment section if you guys enjoyed this type of format where I just talk about a few things that interest me that week. And also let me know in the comment section if you have any disagreements or agreements about any stuff I said in the videos. I'm always welcome to have a nice little basketball chat with you guys. And make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you want to see more. And have a great day.